Hello and welcome. This is going to be a divine masculine check-in. And I'm going to say right off the bat, I'm noticing both in my own feelings and in what's going on with others I know in collective and the soul tribe and stuff that there's definitely we're kind of being brought back to self-worth issues, and especially divine masculines who are more than likely just now realizing they have them and need to work on them, and need to have healthier boundaries and stuff. A lot of divine feminines, we went through that already when they first left and separation occurred and things like that, but it might be kicking up more of that for you because as a twin you are feeling that reflection. So if you're feeling that, just recognize you're actually more feeling that from them. And if you find yourself like questioning that, doing that, like, why am I not enough, or why aren't they choosing me, or why are they choosing a toxic relationship, or even if they break free from it, am I going to be chosen, things like that. Don't get back to, go back to getting grounded, rebalance your chakras, work on you, and recognize that you're not taking such a huge tumble backwards as you think. You're probably just sensing their apprehension. A fair amount of divine masculines are freeing themselves right now from karmic third-party situations and toxic dynamics and just toxic ways of thinking that they've been thinking about themselves in, and they're really going through the motions emotionally, and you're probably feeling that. And I mean, a fair amount of them are going to continue on for a few more cycles. Sometimes we need the big stick to to really get ourselves out of it, and others are getting themselves out of it before it gets too big. For others, there are some divine masculines who, especially if they have a lot of fire signs, fire element in them, in their charts, really jumped into a really big mess in the first place, and it's not as easy to just say goodbye as you would think. In any case, to save some time, because I've been having technology challenges thanks to this Uranus shift into retrograde, I've already drawn some homophone cards and some tarot cards to get us started. And I might end up just doing a couple of different reads rather than making this one longer read. So if you like that, let me know. If not, don't worry about it. I tend to change things up fairly regularly with a Gemini rising, so that's what you get. That's what you get with this channel. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It definitely puts your energy into the readings. It helps me access the collective, and then you kind of start to see your story evolve a little bit more in each of these readings. So, what we got for the homophone cards is interesting. So we got the Sun, and we got 8, which is the magic 8 ball in there in reverse. I'm allowing them to be reversed. And I don't feel called to include the back side of this one, but the Sun card has the Sun on there. So to some degree, masculines are dealing with father wound stuff, and also they're becoming more enlightened to the situation that they're in, and they may be recognizing that they did not listen to their intuition, or they did not listen to you if you were warning them of what was going on, and that they may have, that some of them are being illuminated to the fact that they trusted something that was not, how do I even put it? It's like, I mean, I don't know, a magic 8 ball is just as much divination as anything else, but it's really kind of a silly one in comparison to a lot. And I feel weird saying that because, I mean, tarot cards could be looked at just the same way, same as psychic stuff and things like that, but I'm feeling like for a lot of them, they realized that what they thought was going to be, what they thought was taking a good jump isn't. And they realize that they have been putting their trust more in their egos and into something that wasn't very solid in the first place. Also, the number 8 seems relevant, and that is the strength card. And if it was reversed, it's like they may be allowing themselves to see that they've been in a codependent situation. Also, for some reason, I know that this isn't the appropriate, it's not the, no, it is. You know, it's funny. I've been thinking of this as a magic 8 ball, but it could be, what is it, with pool, with billiards? Although, if I remember correctly, is it an 8? I don't know why. I've played it a bunch. I don't know why I'm not recalling. But something to do with pool, the game of pool, but with it being in reverse, like you lost, like you scratched, like you lost before you even got a chance to shoot it in the corner pocket or whatever, or maybe you were playing slop. I don't know. Interestingly enough, we also got the Sun card, so. That's an affirmation in there, that's playing a part. Now, it's number 19, and also within the number 19 is the Hermit. So you might be seeing either if your masculine has been rather quiet, that's part of why. And interesting, the other one we got was the Five of Pentacles, which is, it's a card of lack. It's a card of poverty, of feeling left out in the cold. And I also, in the previous reading, that I don't think the second half ever made it up. There was a lot of karmic energy, and one of the energies that came out was that the second person in there with the orange cloak just really, I don't know, it comes across to me as somebody pretending to be a victim, and to the detriment of that second figure in there. Like she keeps hurting the second figure in there, who's wearing blue and truth and green for heart and really trying to help, whereas, like, she's really not that hurt. She can walk, she can move, she's the one taking the blanket. I mean, look at that. Like, he's the one who's hurt and who's having to go slow and is probably a lot colder and a lot harder off, and yet she's the one with the blanket. Like, shouldn't it, to a degree, be the other way around? I know in some situations it's not, because, like, there's plenty of invisible illnesses and chronic pain and things like that, so we don't know exactly what that story is for all people, but for this particular reading, I'm getting the sense that it's very much, I want to say a wolf in sheep's clothing, but it's more like a narcissist in victim's clothing. I'm getting really called to, I don't know why, but this little, almost like a hashtag, but it's almost like a ladder. A ladder, some sort of, like, attempting to use victimhood to climb up. But having the Sun in there with the Five of Pentacles, and having that 8, especially in the sense of like a lost game, or having faith in a false idol sort of thing, that really feels like it's relevant to this. And I think right at the moment, a lot of masculines are feeling very vulnerable. They're feeling very naked. Like they naked in the sense of kind of like a nihilism, but not. Like, I don't know what the other word for it is, when we recognize that we've been in a spiritual journey of learning, but we also when we recognize that we've been in, like, a rebound, a disillusionment, maybe that's what it is. Like, but we recognize that there was a higher purpose to it. There was a higher purpose to being drugged down into it. And also, the Sun card is one of joy, and it's often more joy from within. So it could be that masculines are recognizing this victim situation that they've been in. They probably had a ton of money problems, a ton of fights, and they're really feeling, I mean, they're feeling like that guy in there, you know what I mean? They're just feeling beat up, and they're ready for fun, they're ready to rest, they're ready to grow a garden, they're ready. I'm getting called to, I didn't notice this ever before, but this little feather coming off of the flower crown of that child, and it's red. So there's a fair amount of root chakra stuff. They're ready to feel safe, but they're ready for adventure, and they're ready. It's funny, I'm being called to that horse too. That horse looks very tired. You know what I mean? Very tired. It could be that some of these masculines are in third-party situations where they've been having to care for children. Some that are their own, some that are not their own, and they're just feeling tired of that. Maybe it's like for many of them, they're feeling like a workhorse that's just being overworked. Let's see what's going on here. In the shadow card position, so this is the shadow work that they're doing. The Lover's reversed. They could also be interacting with somebody that has strong Gemini traits, and or they might have some, or you might have some. Either way, when the Lover's is reversed, it's unreciprocated love. It's when your head and your heart are disconnected, and it's when you're really sitting back and thinking about the choices you've made. Not just in love, but largely in love. I'm hearing, so it's funny, I want to say it's from this, there's a storage place that they put not far away from here. It kind of, they took out a little bit of a green belt to do it, which is not my favorite subject, but I think I'm hearing them talking over the megaphone, the speakers that they talk through. I can't hear what they're saying, and it could be from something else, but what that tells me is kind of they're hearing, well, okay, you know what it kind of reminds me of is Charlie Brown, that wah 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 wah. And I think that's kind of what they're now hearing, like with the karmic third party. That's kind of what it sounds like to them when they're talking now. They may be in kind of a bratty mood, and also the other side of that is they may be trying to hear their inner voice, their intuition, and it's still not quite clear, but they're trying, and they're at least getting some definition. They're noticing some of the difference, like when you notice that spirit is talking to you and you can define the difference even though it sounds like your voice or someone you know, something like that. But I think mostly it's that Charlie Brown thing. I think that's kind of, it might be to a degree that everybody is sounding like that, or they may be feeling like that's all, like in their in the situationship that they're in, that's all people treat them like they're just that wah 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 wah. But let's see. Oh yeah, hot topic. Justice. Karma. They want balance. Some of them who got themselves into legal entanglements with these karmics could be leases or cars or insurance or even marriage to some degree, or just, I don't know, like some of them could be dealing with the court systems, whatever it is. This is the hot topic. This is right what's on the forefront of their mind, and probably what they are talking about, which is justice. They want balance, and they probably recognize that this was a karmic relationship in the first place. And for those that have been really overworking and finding that it's not getting them ahead where they want, they may be seeking a little more balance in terms of being a little bit more playful. I'm coming up on the time, I want to call it crutch, but I don't know why I'm calling it a crutch. I'm kind of getting the sense, though, that this is kind of a sign in its own sense. Like a lot of masculines are feeling like they're running out of time for something. It could be running out of time to get, to come back to you or something. Heart of the matter, right in the middle of the deck, Page of Pentacles reversed. They're definitely, that they're feeling immature, and many of them may have hoped by now to have been able to been more financially stable, especially before they an approach back to you, but they may also be feeling even more impoverished because of the situation that they're dealing with right now, with the karmics, and they're really feeling disconnected. A lot of them probably really expected that they would feel a lot more joy, that they would be more financially stable, where they're at. I know my own DM personally, the situation he jumped into, he was really hoping he would be much more stable by now, and he even did things he'd never done before, like set goals, and things like that, and he really thought that he would be a lot further along by now, but and I don't know if this reading includes him or not, but collectively, I think a lot of masculines thought that they would be a lot farther along, and they thought that they would, have that beautiful row of sunflowers. They'd have all their ducks in a line, for lack of a better way to put it, and they don't. They see poverty around them, and let's see. If this reading doesn't upload, I'm going to be sad, but I want to pull one more card. What are they... You know what? No, I'm going to pull it in the next reading. I'm going to say, what are Divine Masculine's next moves? For right now, this is just where they're at, just kind of a check on things. So, enlightenment, some of them are coming out of hermit mode, some are going into hermit mode, and many are feeling like they see that they're playing a losing game with their karmic third party